We are rolling today on President Trump's biggest accomplishments and what has been a whirlwind first year of his second administration. And next, we're talking about peace. We love peace. He is the president of peace, and he's brought peace all around the world. I think there are up to at least 8 peace deals in total, and the numbers are just unbelievable about the amount of lives that are going to be saved and the prosperity that will be gained, the new partnerships that will be forged. He's got some tricks up his sleeve. He uses surprise attacks to keep the bad guys on notice. And he uses economic diplomacy, where he tries to get new nations to get into business together, knowing that there's not going to be a lot of war if people are having more prosperity and they're working together on certain things. These tactics are tried and true, and for whatever reason, never seem to be tried by his predecessors. There's a major conflicts the president helped end, including between Armenia and Azerbaijan, India and Pakistan, Thailand and Cambodia, Egypt and Ethiopia, Iran and Israel, among others. The ceasefire in Israel is just massive that took place at all. And then now we are on the road towards peace there, which would have been unthinkable. And even people who are in Trump's core audience, people who might be listening to this show, didn't think that could happen. Didn't think that perhaps that Trump could bring peace to that region. And we're starting to get skeptical of Israel and thinking Israel was just a warmonger nation wanting wars. Well, as it turns out, there is a possibility for a long peace, a long-lasting peace, for the first time in my entire life. And a lot of this was because of these incredible missions that American armed forces carried out, including Midnight Hammer that neutralized Iran's nuclear sites on Fordo, Natanz, and Esfahan. I'm going to start practicing some of these before a show. Hey, Marlow, you're going to say Esfahan later. You got to get that down. Do a couple reps before. It's going to be live. You're not going to get mulligans like Trump got. Amazing things happening. And then now we're talking about Venezuela. The Delta Force comes in where they're able to take out 32 of Maduro's bodyguards, all paid Cuban operatives. Man, when I get into Cuba tomorrow with Peter Schweitzer, it's unbelievable the efforts they made to subvert our country, and we were just way too casual about it. Weapons of mass migration, guys. And that is the word we're going to be hearing a lot. These guys that were taken out and then they were brought home in those Amazon packages, which is just unbelievable. Those tiny boxes looked like they had a bunch of wet wipes in them for my babies. Humiliation. Amazing stuff. The Big Beautiful Bill Act. We're just starting to see this play out. This could really unleash a lot of prosperity in this country, especially when we start seeing things like those refunds I mentioned earlier. But remember, no taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime. These are going to be all sorts of initiatives that are going to put more money in people's wallets, which ends up creating more commerce. We're upping the annual tax deduction for interest paid on loans for vehicles that were assembled in the U.S. So many good things that are happening that are going to make you a little bit wealthier, maybe ease things up for you coming in the next year if they haven't already kicked in for you. The next one, DEI. I'll start with the military because we've done some foreign policy this segment. The military, the fact that we are able to recruit based on merit, the fact that we're trying to recreate a warrior class and people are coming to grips with the fact that you can't just win wars with Yale professors. Do you catch now that Yale now has 0 conservatives in their entire faculty? 0. But they love diversity. Just not if there's one conservative. They can't handle that. That's too much for them. So we can't have those types of people running our military. We need warriors who are ready to defend us against barbarians. Ready to strike the bad guys. And we have those people now. We're recruiting at a record rate. Of course, if you're a young man who has that warrior adventure spirit and you see what happened in Iran, you see what happened in Venezuela, of course you're thinking maybe I want to be a part of that. That's completely been restored. Getting the woke generals out, and we're protecting youth and women from the trans in sports. What more needs to be said about that? We got first president in a while who's understood this. That is not a good thing for young women if men are allowed to hijack their youth sports. It's not a good thing to have a penis in every locker room. Like when it's a girl's locker room, it's not a positive. That's not an ambition for the vast majority of American families. I don't yearn for that for my 2 daughters. And yet that was the official policy of the prior administration. And the last one I'll list for now is MAHA. This is another one that deserves hours of attention. But one of my pet peeves, one of the things that revealed to me how corrupt our government was the food pyramid. This was part of my awakening as an anti-establishment conservative. The food pyramid has always been upside down. And yet it took until just a couple of weeks ago for Donald Trump and Robert Kennedy and Dr. Oz and Dr. McCary to just flip it over. We've been told so many lies about what we should be putting in our body to maintain a healthy life. It's been an open secret for decades, and yet we've maintained this lie that was a food pyramid. And who do we task with nutrition? Michelle Obama, through banning whole milk, the worst school lunches in the world. We get sanity, we got science coming back to America. These are so many positives, but I will warn you, what we're up against is a leftist Leviathan